What's going on, guys? Friday, the 13th of December, 2024. There's not a lot of days in the year that land like this. So always be appreciative of the Friday the 13th and look up the history of it. It's really not that crazy, right? But does make sense why people would think the way they do about it just from that particular history. So, where do we sit right now? Number one, I wanted to point something out you guys may or may not know of. You, as real estate investors, you love LLCs because everybody tells you you need to have an LLC to protect yourself. And I get it, makes sense. But because of that need for LLCs, you may or may not have heard about this. It's amazing how many people have not heard about it. So you have to put in a beneficial ownership report or something that's called around as a BOR. You need to go to fincen.gov, FINCEN, Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. So fincen.gov, and you want to click on right here. You need to file a beneficial ownership report, file a report now. Click on that and fill that out. If you have a CPA or an attorney that handles this for you, talk to them. But you need to have that in by the end of the year. You don't have a whole lot of time left. We basically have 17 days left. You've got to get that in. If you don't get that in, they'll nail your ass to the tune of $500 a day. Now, I also know that there is some courts that are stopping it. They're fighting it. They're pushing back. There's a stay of sorts. We don't know how long that's going to last or if it's going to last. It could literally be lifted and you have to have your stuff in. This sucks. To me, it's stupid as all hell to have to do it. I disagree with it. I think it's a bunch of crap. All these things that we're constantly being regulated on. I'm sick of all that shit. But it doesn't change the fact they're still going to nail you to the wall. So don't wait to see what the court does. My opinion. You do what you want to do. It's just Aaron Chapman's opinion. I have multiple LLCs, multiple companies. We've already filled it all out and sent it all in. I've had my attorneys taking care of it. I didn't do it because I freaking hate paperwork. I was like, if I ever become a billionaire, or the only thing I'm going to spend money on is to not fill out another damn form. I want to hire somebody, even put in my application from hunt tags. I'm sick of papers, but I also am sick of bills. I'm sick of paying for stuff that just doesn't make any sense to me. So that I wanted to let you guys know. If you have an LLC, better get at it. Better get that taken care of right away. So this week we talked about the CPI was coming out, the PCE was coming out, or excuse me, the PPI and the initial claim. So where did CPI hit? CPI hit hotter than what they expected. So if you didn't look that up, it came in a third hotter than anticipated. Instead of being up 2%, it was up 3%. Now, this 2 to 3% situation. What's funny is when people say, "Well, the inflation's going down." Every time I say, "Well, inflation's dropping," it's as high as 9%. Now it's down to like 3. It's still going up. We're still inflating month after month after month. It's still going up. Our cost of living is still going up. It's just not going up as fast. So the problem is our dollar's still being eroded. And it's being eroded a lot more than what they're saying. This is just their bullshit reading, their index of what they track. The jobless claims. We had, let me see here, prior was 225,000. It was revised from 224, so it went up. Now it's 242. Now the new reading, so it's even higher than what the last reading was. Continuing claims, people that are continuing to file for unemployment, it also went up from 1.871 to 1.886. So jobs are still an issue. Now, the producer price index, the cost to produce goods, that went up from, see here, prior was 0.3, it was revised from 0.2. So it went up they revised it from their previous reading, and now it went up to 0.4. So it went up again. So more inflation is coming down the pipe because whatever it costs to produce it, you got to pay on the retail end of it. So it's costing more to produce, the actual CPI will go up. So we're seeing that. And then the core PPI actually dropped. They had a prior set at 0.3, and now what they say is at 0.2. So there's a core that dropped, but then there's others that went up. So for as a whole, production cost is higher, but there's the core that is actually slightly lower according to their readings. Now, I'm not 100% convinced on their readings at this point, but I do know everything's going up. That's easy to see for anybody to see. Now, let's take a look at what our mortgage-backed securities are doing. This is what we come here for, to look at these charts. We've been continuing to take it on the chin. So we had this was our reading on Tuesday. It actually came off of its worst levels. What we were showing is pretty low when we showed it that day, but it has continued to erode. It broke through that support we were talking about, and it has fallen pretty hard and fast. So these trend lines that we were using as support, they didn't hold. We've blown right through it. This is very, very interesting, though. If you look at our zoom on this, we had this gap up a couple weeks ago on the 26th, we had this gap up opening. So right here and this jump up, these gaps like to close. It might take a while, and it has taken a while, but look right here. We're at that point. It could come down and close that gap. That could be another continued fall. So it is possible that we could see this continue to drop, and we'll see how much here. It would drop another 26 basis points, meaning for whatever it is today, it could go up another 0.25% in cost from where it is right now. So if you've been waiting because other lenders say your rates are going to get better, what we talked about, the fact we had this particular open fall, fell right where I feared it would. I wished it didn't, but that's where we're at. And we're getting further and further away from that line that was set by quantitative easing. So again, that's a monster ceiling up there that just lurks overhead. And they're like, we're not going to trade to that point, bluff it, because that's a potential money loser for a trader. So we're in the worst spot. It looks like we're going to continue to be in the worst spot. I believe we're going to close that gap. If we close that gap, rates are going to continue to go up just a little bit more. So talk to you guys on Tuesday, and we'll see if it gets that. See if maybe it does that between now and then. Take care.